Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by the Had Matter 10. Originally posted by Sunny KL. Entitled cousin wants me to pay for her wedding. Strap in and let me tell you about my entitled cousin and entitled aunt. We're going to call them Cousin Courtney and Aunt Ellen. My mother passed away a few years back. Being an only child whose father had passed a decade earlier, everything was left to me. This should surprise nobody. It surprised Aunt Ellen and her hellspawn cousin Courtney. In fact, they thought it was horrifically unfair. My mother was mentally ill, untreated, and abusive. I was frequently low contact with her over the course of my adult life, and she even tried to make me feel bad about this by fawning over cousin Courtney. Why? Who the heck knows? She was mentally ill. Trying to make sense of my late mother is not a productive activity. Before she passed, she'd often take cousin Courtney on trips with her because double occupancy isn't much more than going by yourself. Whatever, no skin off my nose. However, once she passed, Aunt Ellen got it in her head that cousin Courtney should get a share of the estate, so she could keep taking trips on my mother's dime. What? No, hard no. This caused a good bit of fit-tossing and family strife. Cousin Courtney even tried to sue me in small claims for the cost of a trip my mother had been talking about taking her on before she passed. Cousin Courtney didn't show up to the court date and lost by default. Apparently, she didn't think she needed to for some reason and was very upset about it. I wasn't really thrilled by the lost vacation day, so my sympathy was beyond limited. Anyway, I mostly ignore all this and roll on with my life. I'm used to crazy and ignoring it. Cut to last month. Aunt Ellen calls me to inform me that cousin Courtney has gotten engaged. I make appropriate noises while thinking to myself, the poor sod has made a terrible mistake. Aunt Ellen then makes this bizarre comment about sending her a check. I'm all, what? According to Aunt Ellen, my mother had promised cousin Courtney money for her wedding, should she ever get married. Now, this seems ridiculous to me on multiple fronts. I am not my mother. My mother gave me a rant on how foolish it was to waste down payment of a house-level money on a wedding. She's a bit dead at this point, so whatever she promised died with her. I say no, a lot, and stop answering calls and emails from this diseased branch of the family tree. Some backstory. Aunt Ellen and I already had bad blood about weddings. She uninvited me to a previous family wedding, then told everybody there I was a rude no-show. Another whole shaggy dog story of insanity. My level of interest in writing her a large check for cousin Courtney's wedding is somewhere between my interest in poking a nest of yellow jackets while naked and the chances of it happening after the lawsuit are somewhere around my cats not yowling at the fridge when dinner's late. Let's also pause to acknowledge that the wedding plans are intense. We're talking destination wedding at an expensive resort, multiple photographers, out-of-season flowers, designer everything, and so forth. Her idea of what she needs for a wedding approximates something they'd cover on one of those cable channels that has convinced people $10,000 dresses are reasonable. My own wedding was extremely small because we prioritized paying off student loans. There's no reason anybody reasonable would think I'd buy into this level of Instagram dream wedding being necessary, but this community isn't about reasonable people. Cousin Courtney then lands on my doorstep. I foolishly let her in and hear her out. Mind you, this is an adult who's engaged to be married and a doctor in a particularly high compensated specialty. She probably makes triple what I do unless she's being screwed by her employer. She doesn't know what to do. Aunt Ellen has cut her off. I can't fathom Aunt Ellen would ever do this, so I'm a bit gobsmacked. Cousin Courtney has gotten everything she's ever requested in life by tossing tantrums until Aunt Ellen or her husband hand it over. Well, for once, Aunt Ellen has drawn the line. Apparently, cousin Courtney planned the entire wedding without consulting with Aunt Ellen under the assumption she'd get as much money as her half-sister had for her wedding, the one I was uninvited from. Turns out, no. That money had come from the other side of the family, and cousin Courtney has to pay up or she'll lose her deposits. Aunt Ellen has refused to help, claiming she can't remortgage the house again. She's done it too many times already to buy things for Cousin Courtney, and the money just isn't there. My position is that this is not my problem. But Cousin Courtney has never budgeted in her life. She has no idea how. Aunt Ellen is still kicking in money to her rent monthly so she can live in a safe building with a doorman. So I make a terrible mistake. See, I advise college students professionally. One of the modules I have is on financial planning. So I whip that baby out and sit down with Cousin Courtney to talk about how to set up a budget and save for her dream wedding. There's no way she and hubby can't do this with their combined incomes if they buckle down and plan for it. This is where things get really nuts. Cousin Courtney's expenses are batshit crazy. She lives on takeout and multiple caramel soy calorie bomb coffee drinks a day. She needs those because your work as a doctor is so stressful. She has a country club membership that costs $1,000 a month. Most of that is food minimum at the restaurant. She can't cancel that. The initiation fee was a graduation present. She'd have to pay it again to rejoin, and where would she golf? It's members only and the closest to her hospital. Don't I know she has to be nearby when she's on call? Her cable and internet bill is absurd as she gets every channel in the highest speed even though she's rarely home. She needs those because, she can't explain this one. She just needs it, and she's not canceling one bit of it. What if she wants to watch something? The real kicker is her cell phone plan. It's an absurd unlimited plan that's priced higher than current rates with her carrier. All she's got to do to save herself some money each month is call them up and switch to the new plan. She won't do it? Why? Mommy always deals with her cell plan. She hates calling customer service people. She hates being on hold. It's just not that much money, and she can't ask Mommy to do it because she's not talking to Mommy since she got cut off. Really? Yes. Really. This is around where I realize all she's done this entire time is whine about how expensive everything is and refuse to do anything constructive. Her reason for agreeing to go through this budgeting exercise was to show me how poor she is and how much she needs me to cough up the money for her wedding. My motive was to get her to finally do a bit of adulting. She was decidedly uninterested in that. You can't help somebody who won't help themselves, it's just not possible. Once she realized I wasn't going to be writing a check, she dried up the crocodile tears and flounced. There was some very unfortunate name-calling as well. The final coda to this absurd drama is that she made up with Mommy. No, Mommy didn't switch her to a cheaper cell phone plan and get her sorted out with a budget. Aunt Ellen called using an unfamiliar number to tell me how mean I was to her precious spoiled brat, and that my mother would have wanted her to have a perfect wedding. No, she's probably very mad I hung up on her, but I have a few numbers to block. Hopefully, the story ends here. I'm used to being the black sheep. Add this to the list of reasons I'm horrid. If you're wondering what I did with the money, it's not just sitting around waiting for a greedy cousin to take it. My mortgage is much smaller now. Thank you for listening. I needed to get that out of my system. Too long didn't read. Massively entitled cousin thinks I should give her my inheritance to pay for vacations and her wedding because she can't possibly cancel her country club membership or be held to a budget. Where would she golf? But her super expensive coffee habit. Her mother enables. I say no a lot. Update. Cousin Courtney's wedding is off. An update on the post here, where my cousin Courtney and Aunt Ellen for some reason think my late mother's estate money should pay for my cousin Courtney's wedding. I said, no. That was long. This is short and sweet. The wedding is off. The happy couple fought so much about the wedding plans they broke up. I'm still the black sheep, but I'm giggling. Edit to add, talked to the gossip monger uncle last night. Hubby-to-be fled. The story goes that they've been fighting about the wedding costs for some time, and a big payment was due on the venue. They had to pay up or lose their initial deposit in booking. She wanted to pay without any idea where they were getting the rest. He wanted to cut their losses and lose the deposit. It all came to a big ugly head, and he ended things entirely because she wouldn't back down. Hopefully they stay broken up. I'm told they've broken up a few times before, so no guarantee this one sticks. Next chapter! She's back! Cousin Courtney! For those who have followed the saga of Cousin Courtney and her dim-wit parents, I regret to inform you she was briefly back in my life and as absurd as ever. So it was a work day and I was waiting for a Zoom meeting with my intern. Yay! social distancing. I've never even met her in person, but my intern is still awesome. She instant messages me she's having trouble connecting and to hang on while she tries some things. The little joys of everybody working from home are truly without number. An unfamiliar account pops up in my personal waiting room, which sadly my workplace makes really easy to find. So I assume it's my intern trying from some other account she has. Big mistake. Up pops the window and there's cousin Courtney with a big smile on her face, acting like we're somehow speaking. Now, you're probably going to tell me I should have instantly booted her, and you'd be right. I should have. Boredom and curiosity got the better of me, and I knew getting rid of her was only a click or two away. She flat out pretended we were on great terms and started making socially awkward small talk. I humored this for a bit before asking her why she'd contacted me. Well, her parents are having their 50th wedding anniversary coming up soon, and she wants to do something special for them. Sure. They've always wanted to go on a cruise, and she wants to send them on one. Let's pause for a moment to note we're in the middle of a pandemic. They're in their late 70s, and this self-centered brat is a doctor. She wants to put them on a cruise ship. Is she looking to get her inheritance faster? Okay, back to the story. So she starts blathering on about the cruise she's picked out. How amazing it'll be. Dream come true and blah 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 rainbows. Sure. What does this have to do with me? Well, she knows things have been tense between us and she thinks my donating to the cruise would be a great way to reconcile. Hold up, Buttercup. Reconcile? Who in their right mind thinks I want that? You're on my work Zoom because I literally have you and them blocked everywhere else. And you expect me to donate to a cruise? Yeah, she really did. That way we could be family again. Long sales pitch of nonsense short. She wanted $2,000 from me to fund this. Even worse, she mentioned others she's been asking to donate and includes her half-sister in the list. Her half-sister was laid off in March because she works in an industry shut down by the pandemic and has 2 kids she's desperately trying to support. Asking me is a pointless waste of time. Asking her half-sister is downright cruel. I told her this flat out. She whined a lot about how I just don't understand what it means to be married. Sorry, hubby, you apparently don't count. And how important celebrating that is. Around when she was working herself up into tears, my intern managed to send me a connection request. I was very firm that I wouldn't be donating, asked her not to contact me at work ever again, hung up on cousin Courtney, and then had a lovely chat with my intern. I was admittedly a little baffled by cousin Courtney even wanting to give her parents an expensive gift. She's never been known for being generous. Since it's the pandemic and I'm bored, I decided to call my gossip monger uncle, who always knows everything, and ask what he knew about this. Other than the gossip, he's pretty great. Just have to keep him on an info diet. Turns out she was soliciting the whole family for donations, and she was planning on going on the cruise with them. Worse, since she lost so much money in deposits when she canceled her wedding, and something I didn't totally get involving an abandoned lease with the now ex since they're broken up, her gift was going to be planning everything. Everybody else donating was doing the paying for her dream cruise vacation with her parents. Suddenly, the world makes perfect sense. I'd also like to report there's no way to block people with Zoom, and my workplace basically publishes our personal room links. This seems sub-ideal. If you're in a similar situation, turn on your waiting room by default and be careful out there. Update. Cousin Courtney in the cruise cash grab. Last we heard from cousin Courtney, she was trying to pull together a 50th wedding anniversary cruise for her parents and her, and make me pay for a large chunk of it. I wasn't down with that. She whined a lot about family and how important it is to celebrate a marriage that lasted this long. I blew her off. Well, hold on to your hats and glasses. Aunt Ellen and Uncle Dimwit aren't legally married to each other. Anyhow, Uncle Dimwit is still legally married to the woman we all thought was his ex-wife and mother of cousin Courtney's half-sister, cousin Jessica. Yeah, you read that right. They're having a 50th anniversary of having held a ceremony that was not a legal wedding, and the groom is still to this day married to his ex-wife. This all came about because cousin Courtney apparently really was trying to send them, including her, on a cruise and found a cheaper option that was some kind of special deal for couples having a big anniversary. I read this as pandemic lack of bookings caused all sorts of random deals to be rolled out. So she needed a copy of the marriage license. After a lot of awkwardness, they eventually had to admit they had none. The story goes that Uncle Dimwit's ex didn't want to go to the trouble of, or pay for a divorce, and he's too much of a dimwit to think to get one in absentia. So they just ignored that he was still married. He figured the ex would want to remarry one day and be willing to do the paperwork then. Aunt Ellen was in her "we live in a commune and don't want the government in our lives" flower child days, so had no objection to the wedding not being legal. Time passed and it never got handled. Nobody in the family ever knew. They thought they went to a real wedding. Pretty much everybody is really angry about being lied to for all these years. Cousin Courtney is completely thrown out of whack by this and fairly inconsolable. For once in my life, I have some genuine sympathy for her. They've been lying to her for her whole life, and it does actually have to be totally bewildering for her. I'm apparently still the black sheep, because I should have somehow known and told cousin Courtney. I was not born yet when they married. How the hell was I supposed to know this? Why would I ever have checked on their marital status? My entire life I was told they were married. I saw wedding pictures. There's also a weird side of Aunt Ellen blaming me for her finding out because it never would have happened if I just donated to the more expensive cruise in the first place. It just can't be a cousin Courtney story without a side of what the fuck. Luckily, I've successfully ducked cousin Courtney and the rest having drama about all this. I only know they're mad from emails I'm not replying to and chats with gossip monger uncle. This is the plan going forward. Do not engage with crazy. Am I absolutely horrible for laughing my ass off here? Aunt Ellen has been so holier than thou and self-righteous at me about everything my entire life, and she's been lying about her marital status since before I was born. It's actually pretty telling how in family structures like this, that the black sheep is usually the one who's just not willing to put up with the random bullshit. The one who's just not going to cough up money whenever asked to because, it's a cruise and I'm doing the work of planning it. You're doing the work of paying for it. Plus just so much other random bullshit. Also, to have the gall and ego that after you have a falling out with a family member because they wouldn't give you money for your wedding and you pretty much cursed them out after they tried to help you budget and finance your wedding, to then show up and be like, hey, in order for us to move past this and reconcile, why don't you give me $2,000 for a cruise? Didn't work the other times you tried, why is it gonna work now? And why are you trying to use this as the guise of reconciliation when they blocked you and want nothing to do with you? But you don't understand. Why would they want to separate themselves from me? Why wouldn't they want to be close to me? I'm me. I'm so awesome and amazing. Like, Courtney, you come across as being as popular as Dasani water. Like, let's cool off just a bit here. This post was collected by ThrowRA1A2B3C4D1. The original OP is ThrowRA I Want My Snacks, posted on r/relationship advice August 10th, 2022. I got a fridge lockbox and it's destroying my relationship. Some background. Boyfriend 28 male and I 25 female have been together 5 years, lived together 3. Our relationship was great. Truly, we have a joint account we contribute to monthly to handle our expenses, rent, groceries, etc. Everything else is split. Boyfriend is 6'3", 200 pounds, and works out daily. He eats a lot to keep up his caloric intake, which is fine, except for this one issue. We buy snacks, and he always eats my half before I can even get to it. Normal food and ingredients he's fine with, but if it's quickly accessible, I'll never get any. We argue, he apologizes, rinse, and repeat. This is literally the only bad thing he's done. Seriously, in all other aspects of our relationship, he's respectful and considerate. Snacks are where all bets are off. Anyways, last week I lost it after he finished an expensive cheese he had gotten that I was really looking forward to eating. It was all gone after an hour. I lost my shit. I didn't speak to him for a day and ended up ordering a fridge lockbox. After our next snack run a couple of days later, I divided each snack in half and locked mine in the lockbox. From his reaction, you'd think I was murdering puppies. He said it was disrespectful and controlling, and how dare I keep food that he paid for from him? When I reminded him my money went into it too, he screamed that he didn't give a fuck and left. He slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall and broke. He didn't come back until the next day, but that was to change for work and leave immediately. He came home late and went straight to the guest room. 4 days of this. I broke last night and asked him to please talk about it, and he said that he had nothing to say to me until I got rid of the lockbox. Honestly, I'm completely appalled at this reaction, and I'm genuinely worried he might be on drugs or having a mental break or something. This is the most irrationally I've ever seen a grown man react. He's ignored me only to randomly ask if I've gotten rid of the lockbox. I'm not getting rid of the lockbox. We're supposed to renew our lease next week. I'm considering cutting my losses and just leaving. Is this relationship even worth salvaging? Is there anything I can do to solve this? He's refusing to communicate unless I get rid of the lockbox, which is not happening. Update. August 12th, 2022. I got a fridge lockbox and it's destroying my relationship. Hey guys, I don't know if anyone wanted an update, but here it is. A lot happened. Boyfriend kept staying out late and refusing to talk, so I tried to talk to my boyfriend about the lockbox again, and I mentioned that I didn't think the lockbox was the real issue. But he was a brick wall. Instead, that it's abusive and controlling to deny him food. I kept pushing, asking if he was on drugs or cheating. I said him flipping out over something so small and staying out at all hours was suspicious as hell. I said that I thought he was using the lockbox as an excuse to be out of the house doing something bad. Me saying that unleashed an hours-long screaming tantrum that ultimately resulted in him throwing my MacBook against the wall and shattering it. Honestly, I really thought he was going to hurt me. So yeah, called my dad, who called the cops. I don't want to get into the legality of it, but I'm pressing charges for destruction of property. It was a $2,500 laptop. Dad and my godfather moved me out yesterday, and I'm now looking for a new place. I don't have a lot except for clothes and a couple of kitchen appliances. I left the lockbox, but took my snacks with me because fuck him. I left it locked, too. Ex-boyfriend has been spamming me. I'd block him, but I feel like I need this for evidence in case his behavior escalates. I texted him the first night that we're done. Took our photos down, everything. He began ranting at me. Some gems include raging about how I still didn't get rid of the lockbox, asking for stuff he gifted me back, telling me I owe him money and rent for his new place, that I owe him a car. I have no idea why he would say this. I have never even driven his current car. That my MacBook was old and worthless and he wouldn't pay for a new one. I bought it last year, brand new. After about an hour, I guess he realized that we were actually broken up and he couldn't bitch me down anymore. Then came the paragraph about how he was gonna marry me, he loves me, he wants to be better for me, that I can keep the gifts and he'll buy me a better MacBook. He freaked out over seeing I took our pictures down from social media. He then started sending me screenshots of his Google searches of engagement rings and telling me to pick one. He also sent a couple voice messages of him just sobbing. Any respect I had for him as a person is just completely gone. I want nothing to do with this man. I don't care if he's having a breakdown or something. He's not my problem. I screenshotted his messages and forwarded them to his mother. She can deal with her son. That's the most I'll ever do for him again. As for me, I'll be okay. I have some savings, so taking on full rent for a place as well as deposit and fees won't be too much. This has been a weird week. I feel like I should be sad, but like I said, I lost all respect and don't feel anything but disdain for him. My parents have been buying me my favorite comfort snacks and being super supportive. They're gently pushing for therapy, and I think it's probably a good idea. I'll start my search once I'm settled in a new place. Girl, you just dodged a hell of a bullet. Oh my god. Like, the small warning signs were there, red flags disguised as yellow ones of, hey, please don't eat my snacks. Hey, I asked you to please not eat my snacks. Hey, stop eating my snacks. Fine, if you're not gonna listen to me, then I'm just gonna get a lockbox. Followed up by him pulling all this shit and pretty much going nuclear out the gate. It's actually crazy how you in real time from OP's description can see him change his abuse tactic Going from rage and anger and trying to knock her down and constantly being like, "You have no idea what it's like. It's a shitty MacBook. How dare you be this controlling? Have you taken the Lockbox out yet?" And pretty much hoping that by being mean to her, he'll break her down so she takes him back. Then when he sees the damage is done, he's no longer on her social media accounts, and she's actually moved out, then it's, "I'm so sorry. Pick out an engagement ring, darling. I'll buy you a new and better MacBook." Switching right to love bombing in hopes that that actually brings her back and that he can just finagle and worm his way in. Worm. This pretty much boils down to, "How dare you not let me trample over your boundaries? You're a monster." Yeah, no, you dodged a bullet. Holy hell. This post was collected by Kitten Dealin' Mama. The original OP is Purple Indian Frog 379, posted to r/TrueOffMyChest, August 7th, 2022. I'm planning on abandoning my family as soon as I turn 18. My family sucks. I, 17 male, turn 18 in 2 weeks, and I'm getting the fuck out of here as soon as the clock strikes midnight. My parents have extreme biases towards my younger brothers, 16 and 15. It's been like this forever. I have no idea why. I've always been the one who had to do all the chores in the house. I also have always been forced to play every single sport I possibly could, to the point where my schedule was packed 365 days a year. My father told me it would teach me to be a real man. But my brothers never had to do any of that shit. They're both fat, lazy fucks who sit around and play video games all day and all night. They miss school at least 30% of the year and are constantly spoiled rotten by my parents. They already have thousands of dollars from birthdays, Christmas, and other holidays. As soon as I turned 12, I was told I would no longer ever be receiving gifts from my parents other than bare essentials. I was told I had to pay for my phone and any other expenses I wanted to own, and to never, ever ask for anything. I wasn't able to own a phone or anything really special for myself until I was 16, because I couldn't find any actual jobs that paid good money. My parents also expect me to take care of my younger brothers when I'm an adult. My younger brothers have both decided they will not be going to college and do not plan on working a day in their lives. My father told me, "We kept you alive, you owe it to us." Fuck you! I'm leaving a nasty letter on the table when I leave and changing my phone number, emails, and everything. They will never be able to contact me no matter how hard they try. I know my younger brothers are gonna be screwed for life, since they have zero experience on how to survive in the real world, but I don't care. That's my parents' burden now. I hope they go broke from having to fund my brothers' lifestyles, and I hope they lose everything. I have no sympathy for these people, and I will never feel bad, no matter what happens to them. The only thing I owe to my parents is the fact that because of the shitty treatment over the years, I am well capable of surviving on my own in the world. I'll be going to college to study finance in Virginia. They have no idea I've been accepted to any college. Never even asked. And I'm also very physically fit due to playing 6 sports a year. However, the trauma will never go away. They took away my entire childhood, and I will never forgive them for it. They can all go fuck themselves. Update, August 22nd, 2022. I'm happy to report that I am officially gone. So, the last 2 weeks after I made this post have been crazy stressful, but I'll sum them up here. I changed my number a few days ago by calling my SIM card provider. Then I went and got a copy of my birth certificate since I don't know where my actual birth certificate was. I couldn't just ask my parents. And I also made sure to check that my bank account was secure and not shared with my parents. I purchased a plane ticket last week to fly into Dulles International Airport in Virginia, just outside of where I'll be attending college in Fairfax. Finally, I called one of my cousins, who I am very close with, and asked him to please pick me up around 12:30 a.m. last night. He agreed with my decision to leave, and told me he was proud of me for taking action to improve my life. I packed my stuff up after everyone had gone to sleep, and waited. I decided to keep my note to my family short and sweet. All I wrote down was that I was moving to go to college in California, LMAO, and that I was never coming back. So, last night, my cousin picked me up. We went to the police station where I gave them my proper identification and informed them that I am not missing, and am leaving on my own accord now that I am 18. They told me they'll keep it in mind and will watch out for that potential call in the next few days. I got a few hours of sleep at my cousin's and then flew out to New Orleans International at 6 a.m. I'm now sitting in my college dorm, 950 miles from home, and I've never been happier in my life. I can't wait to meet new people and finally enjoy my youth. Thank you to everyone who gave me great advice on here and commented their support. I didn't expect this post to take off like it did, but I'm happy my story has affected so many. I will update again in a few weeks. Update, September 8th, 2022. Damn, this post took off again these past 2 days. My phone has been blowing up with demands for an update, so I shall deliver. Life has been good. I've been in contact with the cousin who helped me and also a few other family members from back home. They said that my mom came to their house the day after I left to talk to my aunt about me leaving. She cried and gave my aunt this whole sob story about how she can't believe I would abandon them. And my aunt told her maybe she shouldn't have treated me so wrongly throughout my whole life, which caused a huge fight and ended with my mom being thrown out of their house. So, it seems me leaving has caused pretty much the uproar I imagined. I've been doing well, met plenty of new people, and made friends via classes and dorm neighbors. I'm in a better mental state than I've been in a very long time. I feel so relieved and it just feels like a huge weight is lifted off my shoulders. It feels so good coming on here and reading all the support and positive comments I'm receiving. I'm really grateful for this community. I'll keep continuing posting updates in the weeks to come. Thanks for everything, everyone. Edit. January 26th, 2023. As promised, I'm here for another update. I waited a long time in between updates to really let my life unfold so I could fill you guys in a lot. Things have been great. I went back to my hometown for Thanksgiving and Christmas to spend time with my aunts, uncles, and cousins, literal blocks away from my parents' house, but they're not welcome at those events anymore, so I wasn't worried. They still don't know where I am or what I'm up to, and have apparently given up on trying, which I'm perfectly happy about. College has been great, made lots of new friends, and have been keeping the grades up, a 3.9 GPA. I love my new life, honestly. I never went to therapy or anything, despite numerous suggestions from some of you, but I feel like I've done well enough without it. I've learned in these months how resilient I really am. I got 2 jobs on the side at different restaurants in the town around campus, mostly dishwashing and working on salads, simple stuff, but I'm making enough side cash to provide for myself. Since I got a free ride to JMU, I don't have to worry about a college savings account or anything. So that's a huge plus. Thanks for all the continued support and comments over the last few months while I've been silent. I hope you guys enjoy the update. I'll be back someday. Much love. OP is pretty active on Reddit, but his main other post is asking questions about video games and about his controller not fully working. So it seems that OP is actually finding himself a good school, work, life balance with a bit of fun thrown in there. You can't just push your child to the absolute limit, pretty much open every door possible for them with how much you're actually pushing them. Like, kid was pretty much ready for full ride scholarships out the gate. Then to turn around and treat his siblings with less than half of a percentage of the same expectations, and then tell him that it's gonna be his responsibility to take care of the 2 that don't know what the fuck is going on in life. Yeah, you're now shocked that he would choose just to leave when he turns 18 and is legally able to? I hope in the 4 years that it's been since this was posted that OP has just been living his best life. I mean, he should be graduating by now. That's pretty cool. Hope all's been well. This post was clicked by EPROM Programmer. The original OP is my 1972 pony. They've been suspended. Originally posted to r/am_I_the_asshole, July 26, 2019. Am I the asshole for using money we earmarked for our 6-month-old's college fund to buy back the exact 1972 Ford Bronco I owned as a teenager? So, how to begin with this? I realize that on paper I'm totally the asshole, but when you dig deeper into my motives, I'm hoping it's more of a gray area than anything else, and maybe even I did the right thing. When I was a teenager, my dad bought me a classic 1972 Ford Bronco. It was my true passion, and I don't recall a memory from high school that somehow doesn't involve that truck. Plus, my dad and I would spend hours and hours working on it together, and when we went through that father-son rough patch when I was a teenager, it was always that Bronco that brought us back together. I made a huge mistake and sold the truck when I turned 19, and my dad died of a heart attack 2 months later. So, while not logical, I've always felt a karmic connection between the 2 events. We had a baby in early February. She is our first and the light of my life. My wife is doing well, but she's back at work, and she's realized that she hates all the daycares we've tried and really wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and she's still very hormonal from delivery, lack of sleep, and breastfeeding, so she's having a rough time and is angry a lot. I guess I need to say this. 2 weeks ago, I was driving through our town's warehouse district and saw a Bronco that was pretty beat up but resembled mine. I stopped just for nostalgia's sake, and the owner came out and let me take a look inside. My dad and I had glued a wheat penny under the dash as sort of a security measure, so I just sort of checked and goddamned if it wasn't my Bronco. I asked him if he'd consider selling it. He said actually someone was on I-25 as we spoke from Colorado to buy it for $21,000. I freaked out and asked him if I could buy it right then and there for $23,000. He said if I could come up with the cash, yes. I had been procrastinating setting up a 529, so I had $12,000 in savings that my wife's parents had given us. I maxed out my credit card to Venmo, and my mom brought down a check for $4,000, and I fucking drove away in my old car. It was like a dream come true, like a literal dream come true. It needs a lot of work, I can't afford right now, but it's mine. Like in my driveway, mine. Again, I can't even describe what a joy this is. My wife and her parents are furious with me. They feel I was deceptive, that a real man would have sacrificed anything and everything, so my wife could go stay at home with her kids, and that's setting aside that they gave us the money for a college fund. My point is, my daughter is only 6 months old. We have 18 years to set up a college fund of her. But this Bronco means everything to me, and if I wouldn't have acted, it would have been gone forever. Now it can be that same connection between me and my kids. To me, it's the literal meaning of happiness. Like I said, on paper, asshole. Whole story. Gray area? How do you guys see it? Editor's note, the comments are pretty much unanimous that OP is the asshole. Edit, I had no idea this would go so one way. I guess I messed up. I talked with my mom and she's basically going to buy the Bronco from me in order to refill the college fund and pay off the credit card. The 4K will be a gift, and she's going to give me whatever I need to restore it. She's always been awesome to me, and she'd rather the money be spent now than wait for me and my sister's inheritance. Sorry to get everyone... Wait, and your sister's inheritance? Oh, God. Sorry to get everyone so mad at me. I was thinking with my emotions and acted badly. Edit 2. Are the "mommy bailed you out" comments really necessary? I found a solution, and it's coming from me and my sister's inheritance, so... it's not like I'm paying for it on my own, eventually. Edit 3. My inbox is so buried, I have no idea what those icons are. That are where gold used to be. Does anyone know what those are? Edit 4. I'm getting a 403 error whenever I try to respond. Not sure what that means, but I'm still reading because honestly I'm afraid to go home, even with the great news. I know my wife is going to be upset for one reason or another. Edit 3. Does anyone know what 403 error means? I messaged the moderators, but they must be busy. User Snossage Fest, since you're a mod, you know. I can't respond to any posts and get the status 403 when I try. Thanks. Edit in the morning. I couldn't figure out why I was getting so many privates, but I guess this must be locked now. I didn't tell my wife my mom had bailed me out and lied and said I found a buyer for the Bronco. I'll figure out how to cross that bridge when I get there, but my wife was relieved that you had come to your senses. I don't want to disappoint her. It's going to take all my lying skills to pull this one off over the next few years. Oh, dude. So you stole money from your 6-month-old child's college fund, and then later your mom bailed you out at the cost of your sister's inheritance, while also maxing out credit cards, which probably are going to have a pretty nasty fucking interest rate. If the money was already there, and it was your money, but money of yours that was earmarked for the college fund, this would maybe be a gray area. You would just need to be willing to work your ass off to put that money back as quick as possible. But because that money came from a source that wasn't you, like, you fucked up, dude. And not to mention the talk, too, of how this Bronco is what true happiness is right after the birth of your child. Like, come on. And the thing is I understand the sentimental value of this. This is the Bronco that you and your father worked on. The Bronco that was your last possible connection to your dad that you fucked up and sold. And it's kind of like you get to reopen and revisit that chapter in your life, but like, You sacrificed your future for a taste of nostalgia. And for a bit there, I was trying to figure out why you said, I guess I need to say this after explaining the fact that your wife was hormonal. I don't think your wife's reaction was caused by the fact that she's breastfeeding or hormonal or having lack of sleep. I think it was caused by the fact that you, without asking or talking to anyone, siphoned out your child's college fund that was given by her parents and was only accessible to you because you procrastinated setting up the 529 fund in the first place. Like, you put me in a shitty position here, dude, because, like, I understand the nostalgia and why you did this, but I don't understand why you did it the way you did it. Like, you hurt so many people trying to get your hands back on this Bronco, and it sucks because I get why it was important to you to get this. But is the path you carved really the legacy that you want your father to be remembered by? Because he's intrinsically attached to this Bronco, dude. And look at what you did to get there. Hey, GamerSubs is doing Christmas in July right now, where if you buy tubs, you get free stuff, up to $250 in free gifts while supplies last. I've pretty much got every single video that I have uploaded on my vacation set to have this outro, so hopefully supplies last up until I get back. But yeah, definitely take a look at this if this interests you, and if you've been looking to snag up a good amount of tubs, then definitely do so. And use code EYES at checkout for 10% off of the tubs you're going to be buying to get more free stuff. So hey, it's a win-win.